What's up, y'all? Welcome to Evil Folks' Top 10 Most Scariest Moments. That boy Bill Feezzyy done made this dude a celebrity, telling all them stories on his YouTube channel. Coming in at number 10 is that boy Jamaica from the Jus Di Vybz YouTube channel, sharing an Evil Folks story he hasn't even put on his own platform yet.
A lot of my subscribers keep asking me to do an Evil Folks story, and the reason I ain't do one yet is because I was only around Evil Folks for 3 days and totally forgot about it until GK David Movie Stories reached out to me and asked me to contribute to this top 10 they got. So here is my only Evil Folks story, y'all.
Hold up, Jamaica. I'm finna tell your story for you, cause GK only pays me per video as his narrator, so I need as much airtime as I can get, bruh. Coming in at number 10 is Jamaica and Evil Folks in the Hole. So, Jamaica was in the hole at Smith State Prison with Evil Folks for 76 hours before being transferred to GSP in Reesville, Georgia, which is the oldest prison in the state. He was in the cell right next door, and some blood nigga from the Pittsburgh section of Atlanta was in the cell on the other side of Evil for them. First 2 days, the blood nigga cussed Evil Folks out, non-stop in events, connecting their cells and even through the cell door. Evil popped back at him, but eventually just let the YN keep running his mouth, already coming up with a plan to get him back if he ever caught him lacking back there. The blood was only 19 and heard all the stories about Evil, but he was trying to get his staying in his set and figured if he did something to Evil, he would get instant rank, so he made it his mission. The only problem was he was fresh off the streets, only having been in the chain gang 11 months at this time. He didn't know half the tricks that Evil Folks knew. At that time, Evil had been locked up 8 years with another 17 to go, so he was a chain gang vet. On that third day, the officer ran shower call, and the young nigga had to pass by Evil Folks' cell on the way to the showers. When it was his turn to go, the officer handcuffed him and opened his cell door, and he immediately stopped in front of Evil Folks' cell talking his killer shit, spitting on Evil Folks' cell window while Evil was standing there, so if the window wasn't separating them, he would have spit right in Evil's face. Before the female officer and her help could drag the fat nigga away from in front of Evil's cell, he had to be about 375 pounds easy. Evil popped his tray slot open and swung a little mini machete at the blood nigga, who was trying to dodge the swings, which caused his thin-ass state towel to fall off of his hips. Before the officers yanked him away, Evil was able to connect with his blade, and all you heard was a loud howl coming from the blood. Later on, Evil Folks told me he was swinging for the blood dude's belly so he could slice him open and gut him like a fish, but when his towel fell off and he was trying to weave out of the way of Evil's swings, so when Evil caught him, his lil machete made contact with the base of the young nigga's tallywhacker, and anybody that know Evil Folks know he kept a sharp-ass tool at all times so the blade sliced through his meat and took the whole thing slap off. That's why he yelled so loud. Blood was squirting all over the two officers as they pulled out their radios to call the code. When the CERT team came down there, they didn't even jump on Evil Folks. They just stripped his cell of everything as punishment. Later that night, the next shift officer knocked on Jamaica door around 1 a.m. and told him to pack it up. In the number 9 spot, a CO2 that was with Evil Folks at Macon State Prison tells an encounter he had.
Yeah, I knew that boy. He was classified as active in one of them gangs. It wasn't the red or the blue gang. I think it was the one where they called themselves Jesus Disciples. GD or something other. I always said they need to put a O in the middle of that GD because them animals surely needed God. But anywho, the most scariest thing I seen this Evil Folks boy do was string his bunkmate up and make it look like he did it to himself. There were rumors floating around the dorm that Evil Folks' roommate, Dennis, was some kind of racist due to a white feller named Joe Dirt claiming Dennis was buddies with his pappy back in Tennessee where they was from and that his dad was a well-known bigot. Joe Dirt or no one else had any proof, though, until the tactical squad came in and did a shakedown one morning. As y'all know, those boys tear them inmates' cells to bits and pieces looking for contraband, and after shaking down Evil Folks in Dennis's cell, Evil Folks discovered one of Dennis's envelopes laying near his locker box, so he opened it and discovered an old photograph of Dennis and a few of his buddies wearing KKK robes and holding their pointy masks in their hands as they posed. Before lockdown that night, he spent 2 hours braiding 3 state-issued cotton sheets together, weaving them tight with a boot shoelace through the core. The knot would hold, the vent would hold. He tested the weight with a net bag full of law books. It held. After lockdown, he moved when Dennis turned a page in the novel he was reading. No creak, no shift of weight, just the soft scrape of bare feet on concrete. The air vent sat 6 feet above the toilet, its metal grill loose from years of neglected maintenance. Evil had already worked the screws with a filed spoon handle. Now it gave with a quiet sigh. Dennis looked up. "You okay up?" The word died in his throat as the braided sheet slipped over his head. Not rough, not frantic, precise. Folks stepped up on top of the commode and wrapped the free end around the vent support bracket and pulled. Dennis kicked, heels scraping concrete, fingers clawing at cotton that didn't give. The sheet bit into his jaw. His glasses clattered to the floor. The book slipped from his lap, pages splayed open to a chapter on justice. Evil folks didn't watch the struggle. He watched the vent bracket. It groaned but held. He adjusted the knot, and after a few more minutes, that was the end of old Dennis. When the officer working the dorm that night, some gal named Aquanetta, or some old silly name like that, looked through the cell window with her flashlight, all she saw was a scene from a horror movie. That boy Evil Folks was in the bed sleep while old Dennis was left strung up over the commode. There was a white cross drawn on the rusty mirror in white state toothpaste. Later on, the GBI investigators couldn't conclude that Evil had something to do with the mysterious death, so they didn't charge his ass, but me and the good old boys know what really happened, and we was planning on getting that boy, but he got transferred a few days later by the warden.
These Ritz crackers and saltine crackers ain't shit, y'all. But anyway, coming in at number 8 is a story by some big guy named GoHardWitNoExcuses. I'm finna just step back and let him tell his own story, cause he look like he'll fuck me up, y'all.
Yo, it's your boy Go Hard, your man 50 grand if you know you nosy, and that's an essential fear of God fact. I've been to 5 different camps with Evil Folks, so I know him very well. During a Sunday church service, Evil Folks was trying to get back at a Crip nigga that owed him $700 but kept dodging paying him. He caught the nigga up in the chapel and wedged a heavy wooden kneeler against the support column and looped a length of braided laundry cord around its base. When the Crip nigga moved to kneel, after the pastor said, "Please, kneel down to pray," one of our bros yanked the cord, toppling the Crip nigga onto his shins. In the scramble, 2 of our other bros pinned him down while Evil Folks drove a sharpened plastic crucifix stand into his neck, hitting the jugular based on the amount of blood that was squirting. Everybody panicked and the officer called the code for a mandatory evacuation. Evil did a lot of other crazy shit, but sticking that cross in dude's neck was the craziest for me, bruh.
That was cray-cray. I would have been wondering why a dude named Evil Folks was even attending the church service in the first place. Anyway, coming in the number 7 spot is a nurse from Hancock State Prison who came across Evil during her time working there.
Hey y'all, my name's Shaquita Reynolds and I'm an LPN. Well, I was an LPN at Hancock State Prison before coming back home to Smyrna to work at the hospital. The incident involving that inmate known as Evil Folks is actually what caused me to quit being a prison nurse. Them prisoners just be doing too much, especially Evil Folks. So the incident I'm finna talk about happened in June of 2013. I heard the code go over the radio at 0800, standard triage code, kitchen storage room, unresponsive inmate. I grabbed my trauma pack, followed the 2 escort officers down the walk to the chow hall, and pushed through the heavy steel doors. The air hit me first, sharp ammonia, burnt skin and hair. Beneath it, the heavy copper tang of fresh blood. The injured inmate, a 27-year-old African-American male, was on his knees, slumped against a pallet of bulk flour sacks. It was his first day on kitchen duty, transferred from Dooley State Prison a week prior. I didn't need a file to know what I was looking at because I worked in the trauma unit at Grady Hospital for 3 years. The inmate's eyes were gone, not blinded, destroyed, pupils clouded to chalk, lids fused shut by chemical coagulation. Industrial degreaser, sodium hydroxide blend, corneal necrosis had already begun. Below the waist, his white trouser pants was welded to his crotch area in wet, peeling sheets. Deep, partial thickness scald burns wrapping around the groin and inner thighs. Someone had dumped a full stock pot of boiling water on him down there. He hadn't been able to run. Not after the first 2 seconds, but it was the neck that held my attention. I signed the death certificate. Cause exsanguination secondary to bilateral carotid transection, contributing chemical and thermal trauma. Manner, homicide. The warden's office stamped it inmate on inmate incident under review. Same paper, different language. I worked at infirmary for 5 years. I stitched up shankings, set broken jaws from riots, watched men bleed out on gurneys while officers filled out incident reports. But I still see those 2 puncture wounds when I close my eyes. Not the violence, the precision. The way a man can dismantle another human being and still make it to the time clock before the morning bell rings. In here, the scariest thing isn't the blood, it's the routine. And evil folks don't break routine, he enforces it.
Can you please like and subscribe to the channel? I'll suck your...
Damn, she got technical with all them details. I can't even finish my Wingstop. But coming in at number 6 is...
Hold up, bruh. GK David told me I can introduce my Lil
fuck that,
segment.
bruh. He paying me to be the
Nigga,
narrator.
chill out before you get me mad. If it wasn't for me, this video wouldn't even be being made right now. You tripping, folks. Anyway, coming in at number 6 is the time I told y'all in one of my stories where evil folks used some nail clippers to cut off his bunkmate's nipples. I can't remember the exact video that was in, so y'all just gonna have to look up all the evil folks videos on my channel to find out.
Man, I know one thing. Not another one of these celebrity-ass niggas bet not interrupt me again. They already got a bag. I'm still trying to secure me one by doing this narrator work off of Fiverr. But yeah, y'all, coming in at number 5 is the time.
Wait a minute there, young man. Wait a
Who
minute.
the fuck is you?
I just so happen to be co-CEO of YouTube.
Oh, shit.
The name's Peter Birkenheimer. And I want you to know that I'm going to shut this channel down if you don't cease production
GK
of this
channel,
video
bruh.
about this evil folks character. We are sick and tired of you people making videos about this maniac, and we no longer want this filth on our platform. And that goes for any other content creators out there making videos about this evil folks. We are about to terminate every channel that so much as mentions that name again, or even has the word evil in their titles. We get billions of dollars a month from companies running ads on our platform, and we don't want to scare them away with creators posting garbage about some nutjob inmate.
I hear them chains drag when the lights go dim. Cold steel bars, but it's darker within. Whispers say a name I can't outrun. Gangsta demon walking where the wicked come.
Evil folks
Yeah, the legend don't sleep.
in them prison walls.
Secrets buried deep.
Praying God cover every lost soul.
For the darkness take complete control.
Yeah, Georgia walls where the nights get long, where the weak fold up in a stronghold on. Heard stories by the name they don't say loud. Had to hold on, shook, kind of scared in the crowd. Evil folks, yeah, ruled it till cold-hearted stare, put fear in the air, did dirt so foul. Folks ain't speak on it, just a silent code. Everybody keep on it. Locked in the cave, but he ran that block, time froze still. When he hit that walk, guards looked away, inmates knew the deal. When the demon rise up, ain't no time to feel. Ain't glorified pain, just telling what it was. System full of monsters that the streets never buzz. From the outside look, it's a bid you serve. On the inside, it's a war where you lose your nerve.
I hear them chains drag when the lights go dim. Cold steel bars, but it's darker within. Whispers say a name I can't outrun. Gangsta demon walking where the wicked come.
Evil folks
Yeah, the legend don't sleep.
in them prison walls.
Secrets buried deep.
Praying God cover every lost soul.
For the darkness take complete control.
Seen it on the screen. Stories brought to light. High name turn myth in the dead of night. From my channel speaking truth, folks fear to tell. Put the curtain back on the living hell. But every demon got a past and a star somewhere down the line.